You're always there, wanting the best for me. When you smile, you make my life worthwhile. You make me whole again, living in shadows and just wait a little while. You can bring back my smile. You are the reason we are here. We need you with us and to guide us again without fear. You are the reason. You are the reason.
Well, hello. I'm going to give just a couple of minutes in case anybody wants to come in. Let me see here. I saw something just a little bit ago that I wanted to look at and see if I can find it. This. Okay. Let me go fair use. Do my Fair Use Act. I found this. I don't know when it was put out. 2 hours ago. But I just found it. And I want to share it. Because, hello, H. Davis. How are you today? So anyway, yeah, this is unsolicited, so I'm going to give credit. I'll put her link on here. Because I found this after I'd already set up my live. And all right. I'm good, thank you. Do you have any weather where you're at there, H. Davis? Okay. Okay, I'm going to just play this here for you.
Okay, y'all. So this is the Declaration of Seth Rogers, also known as the actual affidavit filed the order. Okay, there's some interesting things in this that I want to go over. So
now I don't know who's doing the reading, or I would give them credit themselves, but I found it on Smiley Stories, so I'm going to just play it from there.
I'm going to read some of this. If it cuts off, if it takes too long, I'll make a part 2 to this if I have to. But it says, I, Seth R. Rogers, duly sworn according to law, hereby depose and affirm the following. So that just gives his address, but it says, and I don't want to read that even though it's showing here. It says, I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania pursuant to 18 PA
It's cold
CS
here too.
4904 that the foregoing is true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. Now, here's where I really want you to pay attention. I am Seth Rogers, the biological father of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. From the very beginning, I've been certain in my gut that my ex-wife, Katie Proudfoot, and her husband, Chris Proudfoot, are involved in the disappearance of my...
Now, she's going to continue reading even after the writing gets down below this where it says, "This is heartbreaking. Please find Sebastian and bring him home." She's going to read even what's behind there because whoever's doing the reading of this declaration can see all behind there.
my son Sebastian. Chris asked me to, quote, get our story straight, end quote, about Sebastian, implying that he wanted me to lie. When I refused, they both cut off all communication with me. They've shown no interest in finding our son, and their behavior only deepens my belief that they're hiding something. Every day that goes by without their help only makes me more certain that they know more than they're saying about what happened to Sebastian. For 7 long months, I've been living the nightmare of a missing child. It's something no parent should ever have to face. The pain is unbearable, and it's made even worse by the fact that the very people who should have cared, Kate and Chris, have turned their backs on me. Instead of searching for Sebastian, they've aligned themselves with people more interested in tearing me down than finding my son. That is heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking. And to know that Chris and Katie asked him to get their story straight. Number 5 says, I feel like I'm being blocked at every turn by the Proudfoots and their group of online creators. They've spread rumors, attacked me publicly, and worked to discredit me. It feels like a coordinated effort to silence me and shift the blame rather than help find my boy. In the early days of searching for Sebastian, I entered into a relationship with Michaela Cleveland. I was broken and grieving, and she seemed to offer comfort, but her intentions weren't genuine. Sorry. In early May, while staying at my apartment, Michaela sent confidential CPS reports, documents concerning my son's safety without my knowledge. She later teamed up with Austin Trevor Sweet, aka T-Rev, and together they used those stolen reports as leverage to control me. They even threatened to release those private documents publicly. The way Michaela, T-Rev, and their group of creators, people like Barbecue Lady, Granny's Watching, Queen Bee, and JLR, even JLR, exploited my pain for their gain is nothing short of cruel. The attacks against me haven't just stayed online. They've followed me to work where I serve as a deputy at Davidson County Jail. Barbecue Lady, along with others like Granny's Watching, Queen Bee, and Cluminati, have spread rumors that I'm involved in the unaliving of a child and that I'm a pedo. These lies have put my life in danger at work. I work in the maximum security section of the jail, and if word gets out about these false accusations, I know I could be stabbed or unalived by inmates. Trude even accused one of my coworkers of being under investigation for time card fraud, trying to stir up trouble at my workplace. These attacks aren't random. They're part of a coordinated effort to ruin my life and make it impossible for me to, the buttons in front of it. Maybe to be at my job safely. I'm not sure. To do job safely. I've long suspected that Kate and Chris Proudfoot are hiding something about Sebastian's disappearance. Their refusal to help and their cold behavior only makes me more certain of it. Early on, Stephanie Jo Trude came to me in person offering to help, but after she met with the Proudfoots, her behavior changed. It's like she switched sides, and her attacks on me and those helping me became much more aggressive. This makes me wonder what exactly was discussed during that meeting. In addition to the Proudfoots, there's a whole group of online creators who have made it their mission to destroy my life. People like Ricky Smith, aka Cluminati, Stephen Fisher, aka SF Investigates, and Stephen Crabtree have used their platforms to spread lies about me, calling me a child unaliver and a pedo. These are dangerous accusations, and they've taken a toll on me both personally and professionally. Stephen Crabtree didn't even have a YouTube channel before my son went missing. He created his channel specifically to capitalize on my tragedy, aligning himself with Illuminati and others in this online group. This gang of creators has turned my pain into their entertainment and profit. To make matters worse, the Proudfoots recently posed for a photo with Ricky and Stephen, smiling as if they were all in on some kind of sick joke. They pretended to search for Sebastian, but their actions felt more like mockery than a genuine effort. A true and correct copy of the photo taken on or around September 29th, 2024, depicting Kate and Chris Proudfoot alongside Illuminati, her spouse or romantic partner, and Stephen Fisher, is attached here as Exhibit 1. The threats haven't stopped. I've been told by people connected to the Proudfoots that there will be consequences for anyone who speaks out against them. Chris even told my ex-wife that if I open my mouth about what I knew, it won't ever open again. Feels like they're using their power and connections to silence me, and I don't know how much longer I can fight this battle on my own. Your Honor, I'm just a father trying to find his son. I've been betrayed by people I thought I could trust, and I'm fighting against a coordinated group of individuals who seem more interested in destroying me than helping me find my boy. I don't have the resources or the power that these people do, but I do have a father's love for his son, and that's what's keeping me going. Every second that ticks by, my son's life hangs in the balance. If he's still out there, every day that passes without finding him could mean the difference between life and death. And I can't help but feel like the Proudfoots and these online creators are helping time run out on him. Their silence, their lies, their attacks, they're not just bystanders. They're accomplices to whatever's happening to my boy. I told you guys that. A few days ago about being an accomplice. They could be found as accomplices by the end of all this. If my son dies out there alone, they'll have blood on their hands. The Proudfoots, the step-parents who should have helped, they've turned into silencers. The in-laws, the ones who could have supported me, have turned into outlaws. And these online creators, they've gone from telling stories to being unalivers in their own way. They're destroying my family bit by bit, and it's time for this to end. I am exhausted, I am heartbroken, and I just want someone to listen and help me bring my son home. This is my truth, and I hope you understand how much I need your help to find Sebastian and hold those responsible accountable. I am fully prepared to testify under oath and provide detailed accounts of these organized and sustained attacks, including the incitement of harassment and violence, the continuous threats to my life, and the severe emotional and professional harm I have endured as a direct result of their actions. And then the rest of that there just makes the statement official. It says, I, Seth Rogers, swear and affirm and verify under penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States of America relating to unsworn declarations under penalty of perjury. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, relating to unsworn falsification to authorities, the state of Tennessee, relating to perjury for false statements under oath, the state of New York, relating to a punishable false written statement, and the state of Florida, relating to verification of documents under penalty of perjury. That the foregoing is true and correct. I understand that false statements herein are made subject to the penalties of perjury and other applicable laws. Wow. That is not only heartbreaking to read, but it angers me. It angers me more than anything to hear the parts about Chris and Katie. The things that they've said and done angers. It hurts.
I agree 100%. 100%. You can feel the heartbreak in Seth's words right there. He's pleading to a judge to give him help. No parent should have to go through that. I don't care. No parent should have to go through that. Okay, now we're going to get into my story. The reason we're here. 5 missing children who were all found alive. Now, granted, they were not all found at the same time. There are 4 different stories here, but they're not very long stories. So I'm going to pull up the first one is for Lily Delores Gray, who is 9 years old, and her brother, 5-year-old Kaden Antonio Gray. Let me put my music on here because I am using wrong one.
Just into our newsroom, the Decatur Police Department is asking for your help finding 2 missing children from Tony. So take a good look at your screen right now. Police are looking for 9-year-old Lily Delores Gray and 5-year-old Kaden Antonio Gray. Police say they were last seen on Monday near Lacey Circle in Tony. If you have any information on where these 2 children you see there on your screen could be, you're asked to contact Decatur Police.
Okay. Okay, that's just comments on the thing. So then, after that, I was able to find this clip on Bing, Microsoft. The links to all these videos are in my description.
Danielle, thank you. Now to a News 19 update. We are following new details tonight about the 2 children who were reported missing and last seen in the town of Tony.
The kids were found safe in Cheyenne, Wyoming, but 2 adults are now facing child abuse charges. News 19's Nikki Marker joining us live in the studio. Nikki, what can you tell us about this case?
Ben, Tamika, the Alabama law enforcement agency canceled the 2 endangered missing child alerts after the children were located in Cheyenne, Wyoming this morning. Decatur Police Captain George Silvestri says this morning they received information that they were possibly in Wyoming. That's when they reached out to the Cheyenne Police Department. Captain Silvestri says Cheyenne PD located the couple in a hotel room and they were able to get the children and the adults into custody without anyone getting hurt. The children were found with their mother, Leanne Barco, and their stepdad, Zachary Barco.
Zachary has been charged with child abuse, and Leanne, the mother, has been charged with interference with child custody. There may be more charges pending. We're still in the middle of the investigation, trying to put everything together. The primary thing focused today was find those kids.
Captain Silvestri says that the parents are in custody in the Laramie County, Wyoming jail. The children will be held in protective services in Wyoming. And Captain Silvestri says the Alabama Department of Human Resources is already in contact to arrange to get the custody of those children to bring them back safely to Alabama. Of course, this is a developing story that we're going to continue to follow, and we'll bring you those latest updates both on air and online at WHNT.com.
Now, I wasn't able to find any more information after that. But the good thing is that the children are home. And then the next one we're going to go to is Abdul Aziz Khan. One moment, please hold. Okay, that was my daughter. That's my daughter texting me. My wonderful, lovely daughter. Okay, so like I said, the next one is Abdul Aziz Khan, who went missing 7 years ago. He was missing 7 years. And this is from MSN and The Mirror. Missing boy Abdul Aziz Khan, who vanished 7 years ago, is miraculously found alive. This is the beautiful young boy. He was pictured in my thumbnail. An abducted boy who was the subject of an episode of a popular Netflix show has been found 7 years after vanished. Okay, thank you, H. Davis. The streaming platform rebooted 1987 documentary series Unsolved Mysteries to critical acclaim. The series explored a number of unsolved mysteries, but rather than giving viewers a neat, wrapped-up ending, the show sought viewers' help to solve the mystery. At the end of each episode, viewers are advised where to send any relevant information or tips they might have. Abdul Aziz Khan, 14, was kidnapped in Atlanta, Georgia in 2017, but miraculously, he has now been found 1,500 miles away in Colorado by complete chance after police officers were called out to a burglary. Here he is with his father, I'm assuming. Yes, with his father. The owner of the home, who has not been identified, spotted two intruders on a home surveillance camera and called 911. Douglas County Sheriff's Office deputies rushed to the scene and found two children in the back of a car parked in the driveway. They spoke with the children, and the two adults they were with, later identified as Rabia Khalid and Elliot Blake can't even say that name. Borges entered the house. Khalid and Borges were then arrested after emerging from the property. Okay, and here's a little video about it. Where's the volume?
Attention to details.
Story tonight from Colorado, where a boy missing for 7 years from his home in Georgia has been found safe. Senior correspondent Alicia Acuna has the remarkable details tonight from Denver.
Thanks to the quick response of our deputies and their attention to details, a 14-year-old boy has been safely recovered after being missing for 7 long years.
Abdul Aziz Khan was just 7 years old when police say he was kidnapped in Georgia by his own mother after she lost custody to his father in 2017. His case led investigators to 11 different states and was profiled on Netflix. Unsolved Mysteries came to an end last month when a homeowner called 911 after home security camera video showed two strangers breaking into his house. When deputies arrived, they found two children in a car and two adults leaving the house. Their story was so suspicious, investigators spent 5 hours trying to identify them.
Yep, that's her. Their work led them to a shocking discovery that one of the suspects, Rabia Khalid, was actually a fugitive wanted for kidnapping.
Aziz's mother, 40-year-old Rabia Khalid, and 42-year-old Elliot Bourgeois are now charged with kidnapping, forgery, identity theft, and providing false information. Police have not identified the other child. Both are safe.
We came through that side.
The homeowner who made the call, Kyle Crone, was at a going-away party for his son entering the Navy at the time. His house was vacant and up for sale, so he doesn't always look at the security camera because of so many realtor showings.
For whatever reason at this party, I happened to look down at this one while it was happening life. I don't know, by the grace of God.
Crone is the father of 3 sons himself and told us he can only imagine what it was like for Aziz's father to get that call that his son had been found. Aziz's family issued a statement asking for privacy and said they are overwhelmed with joy. Shannon.
It is a stunner. Alicia Acuna, thank you very much. Story tonight from Colorado.
Khalid had been identified as Abdul's mother and sparked an investigation when she was wanted for kidnapping the child. Now the pair are being held on charges including second-degree kidnapping, forgery, identity theft, providing false information to authorities, and trespassing. Officials said in a release that their bond was set at $1 million each. Aziz is now in protective custody, while the identification of the younger child has not been released. Speaking in a statement, Abdul's elated family said, "We're overwhelmed with joy that Aziz has finally been found. We want to thank everyone for their support over the last 7 years. We especially want to recognize the Douglas County Sheriff's Office for their exceptional work in solving this case. Now, as we navigate the next steps, we ask for privacy so that we can move forward as a family and heal together." And in a separate statement, Douglas County Sheriff Darren Weekly said, "Our deputies responded to what initially seemed like a routine trespass call, but through sharp attention to detail and tenacity, they uncovered the truth. Their ability to recognize the discrepancies in the suspect's story and to follow the leads, even when the situation seemed unclear, ultimately led to the safe recovery of a child who had been missing for 7 long years." Wow. Wow. That's amazing. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Okay. Now, next we're going to go to the little boy. His name is Casey Hathaway. And we're going to find out what his story has to say. Boy kidnapped by mother 7 years ago, found in Colorado by the police. Video.
Body cam video shows the moment deputies crack a 7-year-old kidnapping cold case.
And next is what I like to describe as the aha moment, when the deputies realized that there was a warrant out for this woman's arrest.
Interesting. It's a 19 warrant, updated in 23. So
there it is.
Yep, that's her.
It started as a trespassing call about a man and woman illegally entering a vacant home for sale.
This call not only led to the apprehension of 2 suspects, but unknown to everyone at the time, to the discovery of a missing child and the resolution to a 7-year-old mystery.
This is a video that goes with the one about the little boy, Abdul Aziz Khan. So, yeah, I'm sorry.
That mystery, the 2017 kidnapping of Abdul Aziz Khan, who was 7 years old at the time. His mother accused of kidnapping him during a custody battle.
I left the courthouse and I didn't have my son.
The case grabbing national attention in a Netflix Unsolved Mysteries episode.
Then finally, we realized that she kidnapped him. That's what was happening. She kidnapped him and ran.
Last Sunday at the scene, deputies say Aziz's non-custodial mother, 40-year-old Rabia Khalid, and 42-year-old Elliot Bourgeois gave them fake IDs.
As the deputies began to investigate further, they began to uncover inconsistencies in the suspect's story. And their work led them to a shocking discovery that one of the suspects, Rabia Khalid, was actually a fugitive wanted for kidnapping, leading to the realization that 14-year-old Abdul Aziz Khan had been abducted back in 2017.
Both Khalid and her husband, Bourgeois, taken into custody.
Thanks to the deputies' keen instincts and the attention of both law enforcement and the public, Aziz is now safe.
In 2017, Khalid and Aziz's father were in the middle of a custody battle in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. Aziz was last seen in Atlanta. He is now 14 and reunited with his father. Jacqueline Lay, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Case back. We're gonna solve this.
Hey, does this suit look okay to you?
Yeah.
It doesn't look too
Baggy?
Okay, this is the same story that we just heard. Okay, now we're going to go to Casey Hathaway. I'm sorry, I was wrong the last time. This is from Bing Videos, and the link is in my description.
We lost my 2-year-old grandson that's walked in the woods back there and we can't find him. 3-year-old grandson. Okay, so who's there with them? His little sister. Are you saying his 3-year-old? Yeah, he's 3. Okay. The girls come to the house and left him there, and he's walked off somewhere, and we can't find him. Okay, but you're not there at the house now? I'm at the house, yeah. Okay, and how long ago do you know he walked in there? It's been at least 45 minutes, because we've been looking all in the woods for him. And it's behind your house? Is it directly behind your house? Yeah. Well, on the side, yeah. Is he a white, black? He's white. You know what he was wearing? Probably a black little coat. A black coat? Yeah. Okay. Does he usually do this? Does he usually do this? No. Was he wearing pants? Yeah, he had pants. Was it jeans? Yeah, I think so. Okay. And you said about 45 minutes to go? Yeah. Okay. All right. Is it a big area of woods behind your house? Yeah, it's pretty big. I think you've been out there looking for him? Yes. What is it? Yeah. Okay. All right, we got a deputy headed to you, okay? You said 45 minutes directly behind your house or side? Yeah. Okay. All right, you see a list that we have some deputies headed that way, okay? Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, that was the 911 call when he went missing. Now, let's see what happened 5 days later. And this is from CNN US, Crime and Justice. A boy who was lost in the woods says a bear kept him company. No one can prove it didn't happen. Here is the video, I hope. Where did it go? I guess I was on there too long. I left it waiting too long. We never know what Casey Hathaway was doing during the 3 days he was missing. He was found on Thursday, cold but alive, in a mess of vines and thorns in Craven County, North Carolina. That explains their very southern accent. But the 3-year-old has volunteered one noteworthy detail about those days in the woods. A bear kept him company. He made a comment about having a friend while he was in the woods. His friend was a bear. Major David McFadden with the Craven County Sheriff's Office told CNN Monday in the emergency room he started talking about what happened in the woods, and he said he had a friend that was a bear with him while he was in the woods. McFadden said there are bears in the woods of Craven County, but there's no evidence to prove one was with Casey. All that matters, McFadden said, is that something was there to comfort him during the 3 days. We are very pleased he had that type of comfort. There were very brutal conditions out there. The first night it dropped down to 20 degrees. The second night we had 2 inches of rain, he said. The 3-year-old boy will undergo a forensic psychological exam this week, McFadden said, but for now, authorities are giving Casey time to recover and settle in with his family. He's not been interviewed yet about what happened. He's a 3-year-old little boy, McFadden said. Until we do the forensics exam, we won't know a definite idea yet. And this is the cute little boy that was missing. Casey was playing with 2 other relatives in his great-grandmother's backyard Tuesday, but didn't come inside when the others did. We read all that heard that on the 911 call. On day 3, a tip led the search team to a spot where they were able to hear the 3-year-old calling out for his mother. Hughes said he was found 40 to 50 yards away. That is just that amazing. You know, animals can do that. Animals can do that. Okay, now the next story, I'm going to have to start at the bottom and work my way to the top. Hello to the 2 people that are in the chat. Please hit that thumbs up in there while you're here. This is Paislee Shultis. And I forget how old she was. We'll find out. I don't know if they even told in the story how old she was. Okay. Parents lost custody before she went missing, Chief says. Cooper was charged with 2 misdemeanor custodial interference in the 2nd degree and endangering the welfare of a child. Carol K. Morgan, an attorney for Cooper, said, "We should all wait until the facts come out. Everyone should be patient before they draw their own conclusions." Kirk Schultz Jr. and Kirk Schultz Sr. were each charged with custodial interference in the 1st degree, a felony, and endangering the welfare of a child, a misdemeanor. Lawyers for the 2 declined to comment. Hearings for all 3 were held Wednesday, and their cases were adjourned for a later date. Sinagra told CNN that Cooper and Schultz Jr. lost custody of Paislee and her sister in 2019 before the disappearance. A legal guardian was granted custody, the chief said. Depending on what the reason was why Paislee and her sister were removed from their mother and father's custody, that may have been rectified by now, he said. Whatever that deficiency was may have been corrected, and those parents may have had full custody of their children today, but this is going to be a major setback from them. And this is where one of the little girls was found. There's a video up here I'm trying to get to. See where See where 6-year-old was found after missing for 2 years. Unable to load the video. Please try again later. All right. Fine. Fine. CNN said Paislee Joanne Shultis, the young girl who was reported missing 2 years ago, was found hidden with her mother under the staircase of a New York home. Throughout their years-long investigation and search for the child, detectives had visited the house several times, but it wasn't until a critical tip this week that authorities were able to get a search warrant and go into the home's basement where they discovered the missing girl. Paislee, now 6, was released to her legal guardian and reunited with her older sister. Police said Tuesday she's in good health but had missed out on important experiences like attending school, police said. Her mother, father, and a third man have been charged. An attorney for one of the 3 defendants has urged for patience until the facts come out. Here's what we know so far. Police had visited a key home nearly a dozen times. The child was reported missing on July 13, 2019 from Cayuga Heights, a village on the outskirts of Ithaca in upstate New York. At the time, she was believed to have been abducted by her parents, Kimberly Cooper and Kirk Shultis Jr., who did not have custody of her. The Saugerties Police Department said in the news release this week. Police Chief Joseph Sinagra confirmed to CNN the 2 are Paislee's biological parents. In the early days of the investigation, the girl's father denied knowledge of her whereabouts, and he told police Cooper had taken their daughter and fled to Philadelphia, the news release added. Several of the tips authorities received in the past 2 years led them to a home in Saugerties, a town that is about 160 miles east of Cayuga Heights. But without a search warrant, officers were often denied entry or were allowed only limited access on a few occasions, the chief said. We've been at the home almost a dozen times over a 2-year period to follow up on leads, Sinagra said. Kirk Shultis, Sr. and Jr. would give officers limited access, police said, and would not allow them into the bedrooms or basement area. And each time they denied knowing anything about the child, the chief said, adding, they lied to us for 2 years, including the father, stating that he had no idea where his daughter was. An important tip led to the girl's rescue. This week, an individual gave authorities the information they had been looking for to obtain a search warrant for that home, the chief told CNN. This was fresh, it was factual, the information provided was corroborated. He said, though authorities had received other information about the home previously, Sinagra said they were not able to execute search warrants on hearsay. Police did not say what the tip was or whom it came from, probably to protect the innocent. But as soon as police received that piece of information, they took action. We immediately sent uniformed police officers to the residence, and they stationed themselves outside the residence at around 4 o'clock on the afternoon of February 14, 2022, he said. The purpose of that was to make sure nobody left or came while our detectives were drafting up the search warrant. The chief added, once that search warrant had been issued at approximately 8:06 p.m., we executed that search warrant. What detective found in the house? For the first time, detectives were able to search every room in the house and go to the basement where the police chief said they found what resembled an apartment. There was a kitchen. There were bedrooms, a living room area. One of the bedrooms was devoted to Paislee. It had her name on the wall. There were clothing items that were spread out about the room. The bed had appeared to have been slept in, Sinagra said. The residents told the police the girl was not at home and said they had set up the room that way in case she ever returned. The child's room was also near a staircase, under which police would eventually discover the young child and her mother hiding. A detective made the discovery after noticing something was odd about the stairs, and after a closer look saw a blanket between the cracks, the chief said. So they grabbed some tools and they start disassembling the staircase. And as they're removing the steps of the staircase, they see a set of feet, little feet, the police chief said. 1 moment, please. I apologize. That was my husband calling to tell me good night. He's been driving since 4 o'clock this morning and it's his bedtime. In that hiding spot, police also found blankets, a pillow, clothing items, the chief said, adding it was apparent that location had been used more than once. It is our opinion, based on our investigation, that the location was used probably each and every time that we sent an officer to the residence to follow up on a lead, he said. There it is again. It looks nasty. Okay, I reread that part. What we know about the girl's condition. While the police searched the home, Paislee did not make a sound, Sinagra said. Not a word until they were fully exposed, he said, adding that when she was eventually discovered by police, the child was upset. I'm sure that when she saw several of our officers who were heavily armed, that was somewhat traumatizing to the child. But she was found to be in good health, and by the next day, Tuesday, she seemed to be in good spirits, he said. We don't know what Paislee lived with for the past 2 years, and we don't know what kind of damage may have been done because of the conditions that she had to live under, said the chief. She was separated from her siblings. She didn't function like a normal child as far as having the ability to go to school. Police have not shared any details about the guardian Paislee was released to or the nature of their relationship. Probably to protect Paislee. Okay, so that is the stories of 5 beautiful children that all got to go home back to their family. Now, granted, Paislee, who was abducted by her parents, got to go back to her sister and whoever their guardian is. And it's wonderful. I mean, that the 2 girls can grow up together. That and probably be with an aunt or a biological grandparent on the mother's side or something like that. But yeah, I wanted to bring some good news in. We have all these stories about missing children. We hear stories about children that are found unalived here on the streets of YouTube. But we don't hear a lot of stories about children that get to go home and enjoy the next chapter of their life. So many of these children don't have a next chapter in their life. But these 5 children, and there's more. There's many, many, many more. But I could have been on here all night, and I don't want to do that to you. So we can just pop them in every time we get kind of down in the dumps, and the stories that we're following aren't going very fast or going very far. And we can pop some good news in here to help rebuild our hope. Sebastian's going to come home. I haven't watched yet, but I was watching one creator today, and I came in the middle of what she was talking about, so I wasn't quite sure of everything. But she said that Justin on Clutch Them Pearls, last night he posted some new news about Sebastian. Now, I haven't had a chance to watch that yet, and I plan to do that later this evening. But to the best of my knowledge, in my opinion, with Brittany J is currently live on YouTube. So I'm going to pop off of here, and I'm going to go over there and see what Brittany has to talk about. And then tonight at 9 o'clock, Brittany's going to go live she's on her backup channel right now, and she's going to go live around 9 o'clock-ish on her regular channel. So I might not get to watch Justin until tomorrow morning or something. Unless I get lucky enough and Brittany covers his story on her page, and then I get to watch both of them at the same time. Because that happens once in a while. Because they're both good creators, and they work in tandem with each other. You know, they bounce ideas off of each other. So they're just wonderful. All right, I want to thank you all for being here. Please hit that thumbs up so my algorithms can move out there. Do something nice for someone, even if it's just make them smile. You make me smile just by being here. We're up to 673 subscribers right now. I don't have anybody that's actually joined my channel for membership, but somebody will one day. Maybe it's you. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow.